your consciousness of the role of the director, where did that begin to take shape for you?
Film school.
Hello. Today, gonna do something a little different. Gonna share my deck collection. Someone was surprised that I actually collected decks because I never display it because they're kind of personal to me, which is also one of the reasons why you won't see any collectibles or collector's items in my collection as of yet. I think that could come about later. But I got some decks, rare decks that are just personal to me. Started collecting them later on in life, maybe about a couple years ago. Say about 5 years ago. That's when I held on to my first deck, and then from there, if it had some kind of sentimental value, I would tuck it away and not skate it, or if it related to a point in time in my life that meant something to me, then I would hold on to it. So collection isn't big. It's about 9 decks if I'm not mistaken. So I'll go through them and talk to you a little bit about them. All right. So the first one we have on display, I would say, which one? Yeah, it's the Juice Board Company. Is by Oscar Jordan. Oscar Jordan was a 90s pro skater. Melanated brother. One thing about Oscar Jordan and Juice Skateboards which relates to me is because of the icon image he uses from the Tupac Shakur 90s movie Juice. That's a point in time where I went to high school where gangster rap was big, thuggin' was big, and high school was kind of tense. So was the movie Juice. So that relates to a time and place in and of my early years. Also, my first introduction to Oscar Jordan was in high school. I snuck a trans whirl into high school science class. Science is kind of bored. Being around the yahoos, thugs, and gangsters, couldn't just sit there and read a skateboard magazine. God forbid that in high school. Let everybody openly know that I skateboard. So kept it on the low, and I remember being shocked at one of Oscar Jordan's photos, which was in one of their trans whirl photo issue. I remember the deck he had like a cartoon character of like the face of Jesus, I believe, with the thorn crown. And I think Oscar Jordan was wearing a fishing hat or something. And it was shot from a worm's eye view, kind of like under him and his board as he was coming off of the steps or maybe off of a rail, if I'm not mistaken. So that always stuck in my head. Also, I was friends with Patrick Melcher in high school, and when he moved out to San Diego, he skated for Enemy, which was a division off of Human Skateboards, like their sister company or something. And Patrick Melcher would always, maybe once or twice, come back home on holidays or break and tell us how sick Oscar Jordan was at skating and how they wanted to put him on the team or something like that. I don't know. It was about 20-something years ago. Can't really remember, but that's the basics of it. Okay. Next board I have up is a deck by a company. Download Grammarly today to review your... Alright, this deck is actually a Gino Ikenucci, if I'm pronouncing his name right. Fucking awesome board. Although he skates for hockey, when Gino left Chocolate, I do believe the company put him on Fucking Awesome, and it's the wood print board where the print Gino is actually like textured on the deck. How did I get that deck? Is I reached out to Fat Bill, William Strobeck. Used to be Love Park skate buddies with Fat Bill in my college years when I went to Philadelphia. Reached out to him. He said he remembered me, kind of like apologized for a stupid, silly incident I had with him back then. Dude was cool. He remembered me, said don't worry about it. We were kids then. He thanked me for reaching out to him, and he just sent me a deck and some stickers as a form of like thanks for reaching out. Yeah, Bill is one of my favorite filmers. I like how his style is original, even though everybody and their mama tries to copy his style now. Yeah, but I like his filming. I like his filming so much that I try to make myself not watch his videos for a couple days before I'm out filming, just so I can kind of have my own approach to filming and try to see things through my eyes. But it always was in the back of my mind. I would tell people I knew Fat Bill and that he's one of my favorite filmers, but I remembered the little silly incident that we had years ago in college, me trying to rub him the wrong way or something because I was silly and being emotional. But yeah, dude was cool after all these years. Reached out, sent me a deck, so that's why I got that one. That's my memories of college and also knowing Bill. And the next deck that I have lined up for you guys is another deck that comes out of Bangkok, Thailand. It's from a company called Crete Skateboards. Yeah, and this deck actually by Crete is probably a deck of theirs that I have like skated the most. I like the weird color, like the green and the light lime green color, the shape, the size. I think it's like 7.5. I think it's probably one of the last 7.5 decks I skated. And I skated 7.5 decks for quite a while. I just stopped maybe like 3 years ago or 2 years ago or something like that. But I'm also good friends, associates with like Paul, who owns Crete Skateboards in Bangkok, Thailand. Pat Diamond, a friend of mine that I found, skates for Crete Skateboards. Started hanging out with them. Yeah, like their stuff. It is a deck that's in my collection because it speaks to me at a time period when I was filming Pet a lot, filming a little Crete video project for them. I did that, and yeah, that's why it made it into the batch of decks I want to keep. But yeah, that's my deck collection. That's how they relate to me. Maybe it'll grow a little bit bigger in the future, but for now, I think I'm cool with what I got. Don't like to hoard or carry a lot of stuff around. Oh yeah, now this deck I'm gonna tell you about has a really sarcastic and funny story. It's my libtech deck. Why is it funny, or why is there a funny story related to it? Man, because it's actually not a libtech deck originally. It's a libtech printed deck. Yes, the graphics from a libtech deck, they just printed it on the regular deck. Libtech decks are specially layered and made. They're made with like fiberglass, and the edges of the nose and tail have these like side slithers to stop them from chipping. Very well made and put together decks. They might have possibly changed the format of constructing their decks, but in the early 2000s, that's how they were made, and they were just sick decks. Hella light. My friend said that they were too light. Crazy pop, and I could like nollie and switch ollie over things that are higher than I could on a normal deck. That's why I skated libtech decks and have supported them. I tried to buy this one off of eBay for my birthday while I was in Thailand. Had it sent to a friend's house. They were going to come to Thailand. So flying to Thailand from America, they brought the deck. I was stoked to get it. So stoked I just looked at it, put it away, had the biggest smile ever. I didn't realize it till 2 days later. It wasn't a libtech deck. How do I know? Like I said, by the construction. So I basically got ripped off. I know now not to buy products that are specific on eBay just because there's a chance of you just getting ripped off and a person disappearing, changing their name and their eBay account and doing it all over again. So I got. I guess that's what I'm saying. But yeah, I wanted to keep that one just because I still have a great love for libtech decks, and that one's kind of like a laugh or pointing the finger back at me, and that's kind of why I have that one. Yeah. All right. Now the next deck I have is actually Yeah, this deck is actually a deck that comes from Anthony Ogilvy's company, Delic Skateboards. Yeah. Also, check these decks and companies out because they're pretty dope. Yeah, Anthony Ogilvy was stoked to see that he had a company. Remember seeing photos and seeing his name in Trans World and so on. Him being a younger black kid, I always wanted to find out more about him. Look for his ads and look forward to him having an interview or something. But yeah, got in contact with him through social media, liked his board graphics, liked what his company and he stands for. So I decided to pick up the one that is stated, I'm too old for this shit, which speaks for me being in my mid-40s and still pushing on a skateboard. Yeah, so it's kind of a sarcastic and it's a poke back at myself. And I was stoked to see that he had those graphics. Yeah, especially with the face of Danny Glover. All right, now let me see. All right, the next deck I got for you is a Prophecy deck. Prophecy was a company from around the Midwest area. I didn't and don't know too much about them, except but a couple of guys from the Rockford, Illinois area skated for them that I knew of. One of them was Anthony Burnson. And he was a younger kid, came up in Rockford skating, got really good, really fast, had a lot of potential for skating, pushed it. Also, the kid was so talented, he would stop skating for 2 years, 2.5 years, and then come back to it and still rip and be right there with the latest tricks and, you know, keeping up with a lot of the kids that just kept skating, in fact. Yeah, very, very technical, sick dude. Yeah, and I was stoked to see that he went back into skating, got sponsored, found out his board sponsor was a company called Prophecy. And then when I moved back to America, lo and behold, he quit skating, and he's, because of, I think he just outgrowed it, and he got injuries. I know that sounds crazy, I'm saying he outgrowed it. But I think he just took on different positions in life as he got older. But nonetheless, it was sick to see that he was back ripping, and he had a sponsor while he did skate. So came across that deck, and I kept it because it was like a memory of mine, just from him being a kid, growing up, getting sponsored, and yeah, just moving on in life. Yeah, so hats off to you, Anthony. Yeah, the next deck I have is by the Obtuse Concept, which is Gershon Mosley's collaboration and company with a bunch of artists. I believe most of them are from Kansas City, Kansas. I actually met up with Gershon by coming home, and I mean home as in coming back to America. I think it was during my father's funeral. So was looking for a deck, playing around on the internet, and came across his company. Was stoked to see that he was still skating because I haven't heard from him or seen him in the spotlight as far as skateboarding. Bought his deck and stayed in contact with him online, chatting, and told him that I was passing through America to visit family and I would like to stop by Kansas City to say hello. And yeah, met up with him. It was awesome talking to him, meeting the legend himself, and that's one of the reasons why I have that deck as part of my collection. Gershon Mosley, my opinion, very smart guy, reads a lot, and he looks for insight, and you just don't see too many people like him who try to stay conscious of what's going around them, like you do nowadays. So yeah, that's why I have that in there. Talented skateboarder, and I respect his mind. All right, the next deck I have is what is this? All right, now yeah, this deck I have chat about is from a company out of Bangkok, Thailand, by the name of Produce. Produce, I like their decks. Some of the first decks I bought in Bangkok were their decks. In the early, 2008, 2009, 10. Yeah, really liked their decks because they reminded me of girl decks. Had a nice pop to them. From what I told, they still produce great quality decks. This deck I grabbed, which is Gang Jacqueline's model. And one of the reasons why I grabbed one of his decks is because Gang Jacqueline is one of my favorite pro skaters out of Thailand. Yeah, like his style. He always does tricks that are very surprising and unexpected to me. And yeah, very talented skateboarder, very talented team. But I grabbed this deck specifically because I thought I was done with skating at the time. I was preparing myself to go back to school for physical therapy. Yeah, it was like doing a lot of studying. I was like, all right, you're not going to be able to skate. You're not going to have time for skating. Skating looks like it's going to be a pastime love that you had because you're going to be going to school and trying to beat things into your brain like about the human body. Basically trying to become a body mechanic in some ways. So, yeah, but I got the deck as my farewell. Lo and behold, I'm still skateboarding. Decided to go back to school for teaching and stick with that, which gives me more time for skating, which allows me to be actually talking to you guys about my deck collection and what it means to me. All right, that's that. All right, next deck I got up for you guys is actually, what's the next deck? Yeah, this deck comes from Plus Skate Shop in Orlando, Florida. It's one of my very recent decks. I got that as a Christmas gift from a friend of mine, Robert Elijah Branch III was the one that passed that on to me. We went to the shop. He bought it. He didn't know it was my birthday that day because I tried to keep it on the low, but I think it slipped out while I was leaving a voicemail message to somebody. And he, right there and then, passed me the deck and said, it's yours. Happy birthday. Can't turn down the gift, especially a birthday gift. But it was nice to see how it all tied into my story of going to Orlando, Florida to actually film and to hang out with him. So that's a birthday gift that is in my deck collection that I actually treasure. So yeah, pretty sick. All right, that about sums it up for the deck collection. Hope you liked it. That's my personal touch on it. We're filmschoolprojects.com. We got tons of skate videos on our website for you. Check them out. We also have some merchandise celebrating certain holidays and themes. T-shirts with different movie themes. Things that symbolize film school projects. We can get some polo gear out to you. We got some vintage polo gear on our website for you. All of this can be purchased through PayPal, through our website as well. Take a look, see what you like. Check out our social media sites. Subscribe. And let's stay in contact. We'll try to get more goods out to you. Thank you.